Okay, we should be back live. Hopefully, see people pop in here, and we know we're good to go. Um, okay, I got one viewer in here. Just throw up in chat, a hey or something like that. Don't throw up in chat. I guess you could throw up in chat. That's up to you guys. Okay, this is so much more user friendly. Chrome tab, window, share, add a share. Okay, cool. We got people in here. Okay, so here's a little bit more of what I was trying to show off. So yeah, this is the cover. A little bit easier to see now. Hey, what's up, Kylie? Lions in the house. Mod Colt, how's it going? From Mod Colt Collectibles and Lions from Lions Beard. Or Lions Den. Sorry, did I get that wrong? I'm sorry if I did. So yeah, we're kind of talking about if you're joining us now for the first time, thanks for popping back in. Just wasn't working the way I was trying to stream through OBS Raw because there's too much media I need to share, including things like this cover picture here. So like I said, this is a shared cover between Epic Nation Collection and Nerdy Girl and Sleeping Giants. I think we can all Lion's Den. Thank you so much, dude. Lion's Beard. I don't know why. Probably because I'm bearded. I'm sure that's why. But that's why I wanted to talk about this. Is first of all, this cover is not great, but at some point we had shots fired between Nick GQ and Epic Nation. Decor got involved at 1.2. I know Decor's. That's your fantasy football team name. That's why. Okay, that makes more sense. So it's just this kind of unfortunate situation that's unfolded here, and if you guys think I'm like, where's he going with this? So I've had some stuff that was shared with me, and I'm trying to see which one of these went first. Again, sorry, there's gonna be lots of coughing. I am getting over being sick, but the show had to go on, right? Epic Nation replying that this is in IG comments from what I could tell are now deleted posts. Yeah, sorry for the confusion, everybody. There was just a lot to do over on the YouTube stream. So Epic Nation replying to Nick GQ, who people only trolls and haters like yourself who never moves up in life but always hate and upset. They can't get to come up and just have to do giveaways on their show to have people on, and people still calling you a big wheel spin scammer. Lol, homie, what? Okay, time to go check your dumbass. You don't own your books. You do consignment, I guess is what he's trying to say there. You live in an apartment. I live in $1 million home. I got 2 cars. You don't have a car, and you lie about Lambos. Use your cousin or whoever's rental business. Anyways, this is where it gets, homie. I'll body you right now. I brought you up in this business and single-handed put the verified on your WhatNot. I never hate. I'm not hating. I made a joke. You dropped 2 booby books, but now you want me as an enemy, homie. You're 20 minutes away. I'd be careful about the dumb shit that flows from your stupid mouth. Next time I'll ram that lolly down your mouth. So, like in Nick GQ, so here's the problem: is I don't have the first part of this message. I guess this is from Nick GQ, fighting your battle. And again, these are screenshots people shared with me. You forgot that you want to join the clown crew. You get treated like a clown. I told you to be careful who you work with and align with, but you didn't listen. I put you over. Mike put you over. You used us. You call me saying come hang out every other day. Your ass is fake. Oh my, yeah, that's got to be Nick, because Nick, if you don't know, Nick dealt with cancer. there's a lot to the story. Like this goes back to my history with Nick GQ, which is, I don't have a history with Nick GQ, but knowing of him, watching him, first time I really was aware of him other than just a name, was when he went on Pressable Defects, and he's calling out Kyle Willis over a cover. And there's talk about money and compensation. Honestly, from watching that video, it seemed like a lot of stuff that needed to be handled behind closed doors or more articulately brought forward. I've seen Nick GQ go off on rants on Instagram on other sellers on WhatNot and like making threats to WhatNot, and then those posts get deleted. Like, I don't know. I didn't say that stuff because I just didn't care. So I can't show you because they delete it. Don't play with a devil Bali. You'll get burned. Epic Nation. Just used you for free stuff like everyone else. No one cares for you. You're too fake. Fake-o. I don't know. Just like when you called the hospital and they said you were never there. When we called the hospital, they said you were never there. You told us you were so sick, and fake lawyers messaged 3 of us. And then 3 hours after you went on WhatNot. Wow. Look, I don't care. I don't care about any of this except for a couple elements here that are tangential at best. One of them is it's comic books. What the fuck are we doing? We're like threatening, and this isn't it. There's more. There's more, guys. These are just like the first, I'm kind of explain to you why this is a thing, right? And again, I don't have all the information here. I freely admit I don't have all the information. I know there's history that I've been told about a booth being given to somebody else at New York City Comic Con. I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't have a lot of details, but I know that there was some beef apparently between Epic and Nick GQ over that. I know Nick GQ's had some issues with Kyle Willis. It just seems like there's all this drama. And I've basically defended the idea of being a WhatNot seller before. Doesn't mean I excuse all behavior. Again, sorry. It doesn't mean I excuse all behavior that happens on WhatNot or anything like that. Far from it. Far from it. I definitely hold stuff accountable. Clearly, as you're about to see. But I just don't think you should paint anybody who decides to sell on WhatNot with the same brush. Turlock brought that up on my auction we did right before Christmas. And I was trying to kind of rebut that a little bit. Like he was saying, like, you'll never see me selling on WhatNot. That's fine, by the way. But I think it's okay to sell on WhatNot. I haven't done it in a long time, but I don't have to say anybody who sells on WhatNot is drama. Now, there is a lot of really gnarly shit that happens that comes from WhatNot. And there's these names that kind of keep getting brought up. And I've been very careful not to like talk about those names because to me it's not important. But this stuff, we need to be informed about like who we're buying from. Like if I go into a stream and I'm like, oh, they have a bunch of followers. They seem to be doing pretty well on WhatNot. They seem legit. I'm going to buy this comic book. I still occasionally go on there, but it's pretty rare. But I want to know what I'm getting into. And I really want us, the ultimate goal where I'm going to get to, and I'll kind of give you the spoiler right here. Be careful who you're giving your business to. Be careful who you're supporting. If you want to support this kind of stuff, that is your decision to make. If you want to support people that are clearly stand-up people, then absolutely go for it. That's the best thing we can do. As a very niche community, we have to vote with our dollars. We have to vote for by spending money on stuff that we support because we like the product, because we like the business model, because we like the creatives behind it, because we like what they stand for, we like what they're going to do with that money. And we have to vote with our dollars by not spending money with entities that we don't want to be supporting. We don't want to see this kind of stuff continue. And I'm not trying to sway anybody one way or the other, but I am presenting like this is what's happening. You have people talking about beating each other up in the streets. This is not the first time. Um, uh, I love selling a whatnot, but don't get caught up on the drama. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The drama is ridiculous. Keep it thorough is talking that the artist shouldn't have had to explain why he used the swastika. We haven't really gotten there yet. And yeah, I'm just talking about what we're talking about here. Um, I definitely try my hardest, man. Yes, comics are supposed to be fun. Uh, I still sell weekly on. I'm sorry, I sell weekly on whatnot, but keep myself clear of any of the drama and use the platform to my style of selling. And that's I had a drip auction the other night. Drip is it's a smaller platform, but it's the same type of thing as whatnot, right? Like that's just what it is. Um, and I don't like I do that. I'm not gonna like pretend like I don't do that. I think that people that have this knee jerk reaction to people that want to make money selling parts of their collection, that's their business. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a digital LCS that sells via other means other than having a brick and mortar LCS. I think we need to be aware of that idea in 2023. Absolutely. Buddy McKinley says, I seen fights break out at a couple Wizard cons, and luckily didn't have social media back then. Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot in Kai, yeah, this is very true. A lot of it is about exclusives and a pissing contest. Um, Dude Junior Ryan, so it's a bit of a tongue twister for me, says, I stick to new sellers on Whatnot with 30 or less in the room. Watched a Nick GQ show once with over 200 in the room. Any book he threw out, buyers went insane. Well, that's a completely different aspect. Like it's part of the situation, but that's more about like whether or not you're going to find a good deal, right? Which is a factor. It's a factor in where you're going to choose to spend your money. Um, you're not going to find a good deal, generally speaking, in rooms with a lot of people in them, and that's just the truth. By the way, as a seller, you're generally not going to have a great time unless you happen to find some awesome buyers that follow you around. If you're in a room that doesn't have a lot of people in it, too, is what I was trying to say. Nothing against Nick or other big sellers, but some people need to grow a brain. And I've never spoke to Nick. I've never spoke to Epic Nation. I literally have no bias here as far as one or the other, or anything like that. I just want people to not be doing this kind of stuff because the truth of the matter is it's not good for the hobby. It's not good. Like, I'm not saying whatnot isn't good for the hobby. And it's not because I don't want to piss off whatnot or anything like that. If I thought that was true, I would say it. But this kind of stuff happening, it's not good for whatnot. It's not good for the hobby. It's not good for small sellers like the model I was talking about. Like if you want to be an LCS from home, I mean, there's people in chat here. That's what they do for most of their income. It's what I do for most of my personal income. I'm fortunate. My wife has a great job and she works too. But for my personal income that I bring into the house, a lot of what I do is selling comics. On eBay or through a lot of other different places, and that's what it's all about. Whatnot. Sorry, I missed one message here. Oh, missed a couple. I missed a few. I love Whatnot, but you really do got to do your homework. I'd love to have a Whatnot someday, and I'm worried people hating my content because it's on Whatnot. Yeah, I mean that at this point, that's a reasonable concern. I wish I could sell on Whatnot, but I'm a hoarder. I've had books go up like crazy and still. Yeah, that's. I've done some videos on that. That is most comic book collectors. Um, Whatnot is QVC, and I haven't seen QVC. Yeah, exactly. Exclusives are dissecting the comic book collecting scene into two categories: content versus covers. I think it's even more than that. I think that's definitely part of it. But it's also this business model of exclusives trying to be propped up when I don't know. It's gotten out of hand for the current comic book market and where it's at. Either I've stopped paying as much attention or it really has slowed down a bit, but I feel like it's slowed down a tiny bit because people probably just were sitting on tons and tons of books. Covers are cool, but it's all about the content of the book itself. How many poo covers do we really need? How many Hail Crow homages can we stand? Exactly. Brandon chimes in with, I tried to explain this drama at my LCS last Saturday, didn't go well. Yeah, it's funny sometimes with the circles I've run in, like at cons or at shops, and you talk about something and you can kind of tell it's over their head, and you kind of try to explain it. They're like, "What?" And you're like, "Hey, I'm just the messenger. I don't believe in this crazy shit." So there is more. There is more, guys. So I'm not familiar with Shop the Comic at all. Just this is something else that was shared with me. I am so sorry. I am fully aware of the harassment, slander, defamation, and character being bashing tonight live January 3rd since 8 p.m. against Nick GQ from Epic Nation Collection live stream. WhatNot is fully aware at this point from multiple users reporting in video and recording it, as well as legal violations of WhatNot seller user agreements. A call to action is in place for a lifetime ban of this user on the WhatNot platform. Continued reporting of this user can be sent to trustandsafety@whatnot.com. By the way, as a WhatNot seller, I can tell you, as from being on their Discord and all that stuff, if there is something you see like this that, what I'm about to show you, the best way for sure to deal with that is by contacting WhatNot Trust and Safety. If you want to report it, doesn't mean things doesn't necessarily happen. We'll see what happens here, but this is the way to deal with that. I'm appalled by the behavior from this user, and as a leader in this community, I apologize for having you respected people and buyers have to listen to that nonsense. This is not acceptable behavior. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Shop the Comic. Get caught up with chat here. We got Comic Bookworm in the house. Comic Bookworm, real dude in the community. Go give him a follow if you want to see some no nonsense. An Eminem Morales sold for $5,000. Wow. There is a hey. Now let's leave the hardly thins out of it. Those are okay. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think some of them are great. Foils, metals, woods. Mellow had a leather cover. Yeah, well, I mean, mellow, be mellow, right? Along with 15 other names. Keep seeing Ninja Phone because the latest craze on WhatNot with a gazillion different covers. Yeah, I don't see anybody talking about how good it is. Not a great story, according to Kylie. I should just call them Lions, probably. More people probably know you by Lions. I started to buy on WhatNot in the last week or so, and you have to have a price app open. Oh, yeah. This is, way back when WhatNot was first starting to kind of heat up for comic books. I did an interview with Skeff. I had him on the show, and I was like, hey, can we get some tips for new buyers and tips for new sellers on the platform? One of the things we talked about in that interview was have eBay open while you're, eBay sold listings, or like you said, cover price, or whatever your preferred pricing methods are. Otherwise, what are you doing? I don't think he got banned again, though. That was the message I was trying to get back to. Epic had 10,000 followers and is acting like a child. Rise above and take the hits. Yeah, so we do have more to get to in this, believe it or not. There's even more here. Cool. Yeah, you should. I didn't want to. I don't like to read comics that I'm selling. And it is easy. Yes, it is easy to update yourself on there. So now that they have the swipe thing, I think it actually makes it harder to bid correctly. But that's just me. Oh no! Click your phone with your toe? I K-pop, I don't know about your browsing habits, but that's all right. There you go. Um, so let me get this up here. That's what she said. So here's the stream that Epic Nation did in response to all this. So this is on Epic Nation's WhatNot stream, Epic Nation collection. Full disclosure, you can see Lion's Den in there, asking about the run-in that Nick had with Kyle Willis, which, like I said, that's what I talked about happening on the Pressable Defects stream. But here's what he did. He did this stream on WhatNot where he's like, let's stop Nick GQ from bullying. And he was saying that if you report Nick GQ, he's going to send you free books. What? Like, what are we? And this is going on. Like, look, like, report Nick GQ to seller support at whatnot.com. This is what's happening on WhatNot on the stream. I can't believe it, man. Like, I can't believe what's going on over here at this point. Like, where we've gotten to. Like, I've had conversations with people where I've kind of been like, I think WhatNot is kind of, it's what you make it. It's what you put into it. Yeah, 100% display of childish and petty behavior. Now, Nick making threats against Epic Nation of physical bodily harm. That's I don't see either side in a positive light here. There's no easy way to put it. I just can't. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Hey, Nick Brucci in the house. Hope all's well with your kid. A little something after the holidays. Hope you're doing. Oh my God, 100. Thank you very much, Nick. Nick, thanks for popping in the show. I really appreciate that. That is really awesome of you. Yeah, I can't thank you enough. Yeah. So a quick update for people. If you follow me like on Facebook, which not a lot of people do, you might know that I've had a rough time this holiday season. And one of the things that happened was we celebrated our Christmas on the Tuesday after Christmas. And try to fix my camera here a little bit. And one of the things that happened there is my daughter had an allergic reaction. And so we were kind of like finishing up most of the opening presents thing. She is 4 years old. It is Christmas morning. She's a 4-year-old on Christmas morning. She's been a picky eater and she was willing to eat some more stuff. And she just starts breaking out in hives. And it's getting red, it's getting bad. Just it was a rough day. I gave her some allergy meds we had for her. It was getting worse. We went to the ER. So we spent, for all intents and purposes, our Christmas for about 4.5 hours in the ER. And Nick, I really appreciate what you just did there. Like, it means a lot to me and my family. And it was a rough day for us. A lot of other stuff happened. Like, our oven went crazy and almost burned our house down. That was the day before. That actually happened on real Christmas. We had like all the food we were going to make and everything, and that didn't work out. If you guys, my dad's still recovering from surgery. Some of you know about that. Yeah, my only child. So it's been a roller coaster of a time. We lost power on Christmas for a while. It was ridiculous. So Nick, that means a lot to me. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Awesome member of this community. Nick from Dynamite and Dynamic Forces. Thank you very much, man. And yeah, happy New Year to you and yours. Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. Um, yeah, people will fight about anything. Yeah. So, excuse me again. To get back to the drama, by the way, I am 99% sure that Nick did not want to be entered into this, but we are doing a super chat giveaway, so I should probably talk about that. We are giving away the 1 in 25 Matina foil, and I know a couple other people have entered. Nick, I'm gonna say it's probably safe to assume you're not going for that book, but if you are, I'll put you down, man. You're the dark horse now that's come in. But that is a donation from Gamma Base Comics. Check him out over on Facebook. Scott is an excellent guy over there. He's also been dealing with a lot of personal stuff, so really want to go show them support. Plus, again, we're talking about sellers doing some stuff that is, be the change in the world you want to see, right? Like I'm wanting to support sellers that are doing the right things. Um, Go check out Nick's company. I don't know if it's fully owned by them or they just help run it. The EXP over on YouTube, they do a lot of cool auctions. You can see like original art get auctioned off over there. They do giveaways on there that are actually really cool. Like I won an Aaron Moriarty signed card from the boys. Like that was really awesome. Just for I think I did trivia or I put a hashtag in chat. All these good sellers are out there, Lion's Den, Haha You Wish, over on Whatnot. Those are both really good guys. A lot of other people too. Kamikaze, all these great people. So cool, awesome, absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, it's the EXP over. It's EXP underscore experience, I believe. Um, um, see if I can get a link for that real fast. They deserve the props over there. It's really fun, and not a lot of people hang out over there, so you're going to get some pretty good deals. And like I'm willing to take a second to talk about that because that is the kind of stuff that I want to support in the comic book community. There we go. So go give that channel a follow. They're live a few times a week, and I try to jump in when I can, and I have a good time over there. So um, yeah, I've had nothing but good experiences with Very Gary. I've bought from him before, hung out at his auctions. I don't do it as much anymore. It's the same kind of thing that we were talking about up above. When you have hundreds of people watching, it's really hard to get in there and get a good deal on something. And so I support where I can and when I can, but um, oh boy, there's drama in the comic book community and in real world politics, but we do try to avoid the real world politics here as much as possible, except for where they overlap with comic books. Um, so to kind of get us back on the track here, we've got the drama going on between Nick GQ, Epic Nation. I have some videos that I could play. I probably won't, but they're more of kind of the similar vein of, um, for one thing, everybody that I've talked to about them has a hard time understanding Epic Nation. I don't know. I don't know if he's inebriated at this point when he's making these videos, but he's it's basically the same thing. He's talking about reporting Nick GQ, report Nick GQ, which is what I showed in the screenshot, right? Um, so I don't think I'll play the videos for you, but I mean I have them available if anybody needs to see them. I can send them to you. Shout out to the people that sent those to me. Well, okay, for one thing, I'm not sure the sound will work. That's the other problem. Let me see if it works. Lions would like me to play him, so um oh yeah, okay. Well, those guys are talking about it right now. So there you go. Um that one, I need to stop that screen share, present video file. Okay, let me know if the sound works.
Kill it. But MegaCon, we're gonna kill it. But look at this, guys. Let's employ, blah 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 blah. Let's reveal, blah blah blah. He said, "I'm gonna two black eyes. See you tomorrow." Then he said he's gonna kill me. He's gonna end me and all that shit. Then this is when he said he's gonna kill Kai Willis. Then this is where he talking about Nerdy Girl. Hear this shit, bro.
That wasn't even a fucking Comic Con. That's more like Nerdy Con's job. No one went.
Davis, I have a text or a screenshot.
So that's the first video. Yeah, I do see the super chats. Let me present this other one, and I'll write those down and get to those. Definitely want to highlight those. Give me 1 second.
The giveaway is free. As I say, whoever sent me screenshot stating that they report Nick GQ, I'm doing that exclusive. And did I ever let you guys down though? Did I ever Uncharted Comics? I'm gonna send you a fire book because you my people. I'll make sure I follow Uncharted Comics. Great new seller.
So, and then I actually have a few more that were sent to me. I have to pull them down. Again, these are all from Epic Nation's stream. Did those? You know what? Maybe I didn't get those saved correctly to Drive. But again, it's all very much the same thing. It's very much the same thing. The video, the first one I played, where he's talking about what Nick GQ said, what he's saying, we're painting a very clear picture if people are willing to tell you what their intentions are here. Dude, Junior Ryan coming in with a $20 super chat. Let's see here. Breaking my brain for a second with the math here. Dude, Junior Ryan, got you down. Thank you very much for your super chat. I do appreciate that. Also got Comic Book Warp coming in with the $20 super chat for the Happy New Year. I appreciate that as well. Thank you very much for your super chats, gentlemen. And then Demolition Worm coming in with a $1 super chat. So we will do the random drawing at the end of the show and give away the Matina 1 in 25 from Gamma Base Outpost. That is foil and very, very hard to properly show off in all its glory, but it's a cool cover. Death of Superman 30th anniversary. Looks like Ninja Function there. Yeah, pretty much. Someone does have a hookah. Yep. Yeah, so it's an expensive hobby. Yeah, he's saying he's going to give away comic books and I guess exclusives if you report Nick GQ. Yeah, they're threatening. They both basically, for those of you that are kind of just joining in, they basically both threatened each other. Hey, thanks for coming in, Tom. Tom NT. I'm sorry, I did not see you in chat earlier. If you said hi, I am so sorry about that. I might have missed you in the commotion. And then got Dan's X-Men Comics in the house as well. Howdy, Dan. How's it going? So I'll try to play. I'll play the other video again, because I think that's the kind of more important one. Okay, so if you're having a hard time hearing the first time, we'll play it one more time. Okay.
gonna kill it. But MegaCon, we're gonna kill it. But look at this, guys. That's a boy, blah 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 blah. That's Livio, blah blah blah. He said, "I'm gonna two black eyes. See you tomorrow." Then he said he's gonna kill me. He's gonna end me and all that shit. Then this is when he said he's gonna kill Kai Willis. Then this is where he talk about Nerdy Girl. Hear this shit, bro.
More nerdy con, that wasn't even a fucking Comic Con. That's more like nerdy con job. No one went.
Davis, I have a text or a screenshot.
So look, I don't know how. Like, I'm watching the events from Nick GQ, what he said in conjunction with other things that have happened. I'm watching Epic Nation's reaction here. I can't support either side here. Like, I can't go into their streams. It makes me not want to go into WhatNot and buy from people, and that's something that I've been pretty willing to do if, you know, as a seller I liked, or if there were, you know, again, a reputable seller, that kind of thing. That's something I'm more interested in. At this point, seeing these kinds of interactions, it's just terrible. So yeah, we'll get into that next. You know, I'm kind of wrapping it up on this topic. Sounds like some other stuff's going on in another stream that I'm sure they're getting into it. But again, it's just one side. It's a side we hear from quite a bit in these streams, and I've seen on other streams, and you know, and where I want to bring it up real fast. And he's been in chats before. Maybe he'll pop in tonight. Who knows? Decor also started off some of this teasing about the cover. Again, what started all this to start with, again, for this current round of craziness, is this cover right here. This remember which layout shows. Yeah, there we go. This, you know, look, it's a pretty bad cover. I will definitely, no arguments from me. Pretty bad cover here. Try to zoom in as much as I can on it, so you can kind of see it. And, you know, Decor also jumped on this stuff. And here's what I'll say about Decor. We're going to talk about the Hail Crow cover. Decor, again, stirs the pot. You know, calls it like he sees it, posts his stuff. It polarizes people. And then I know he made a post about this, which has since been removed. Like, it's just, we're talking about comic books, guys. Like, why do we all have to be getting into this drama again and again and again? And, you know, when you start to see certain names get brought up over and over and over again, you got to eventually you got to call a spade. And it's just how I feel about it. Like, I can't support certain people anymore. I can't defend certain people anymore. You know, you just have to kind of vote with your dollars or your lack of attention or whatever it is. And, you know, I'll talk about it tonight and I'll move on. Strawberry donuts are dope. Strawberry donuts are dope. Yeah, Voltron, Homer, and a donut. Oh, and Maggie. Can't forget Maggie. And a foil, because why the fuck not? Yeah, it's, I don't, it's just bad. So let's talk about the other bad cover. Now I apologies, guys. I'm still getting over that cold. I don't have the original for this anymore. I did at one point. This is the 666 Hail Crow So it's obviously an homage to the ASM #1 Eminem cover, right? It's a Javon Jordan cover. I don't understand all the references on this, but you have Gem Mint on the cover. You have Comic Tom on the cover. Make sure you guys can see that. Yeah. There are in this cover mixed in characters from Javon Jordan's books. I guess people say this is, and I'm sure they're right, that's supposed to be Mr. Bolo just because of the yellow hat. I don't know, whatever. But this is the real source of frustration here. And zoomed in, you can actually see like how quick of an edit this was. So this character is originally on the original cover that I don't know if Javon Jordan posted it first, and he goes by Illest Illuminati. I don't know if he posted originally or if Gem Mint posted originally, but it was up on both their pages. And this character with the sack on their head and the smiley face with the X's were originally swastikas. And so an instant reaction from that was people flipping out. I know Decor flipped out about it and said, this is terrible. I have a weird take on this, maybe a controversial hot take on this. So the character with the swastikas on the eyes is a villain from his comic book, from the creator of this cover's comic book. You can make the argument that it's unacceptable to ever display swastikas unless it's from a historical perspective. And a lot of people share that sentiment. I'm a pretty big free speech, First Amendment kind of person. I think you should be able to tell a story, especially since he wasn't promoting Nazism. He was the character in this comic book is a neo-Nazi and a villain. At the same time, maybe placing him on your cover is not the best idea, especially when you're trying to showcase like people from the community here. And I guess there's other people from the community in here. I'll be honest, the likenesses are so bad. I'm having a hard time. Like, you could tell me that's Brian McClay, and I'd be like, all right, I guess. I don't really know if it's supposed to be. I guess this is a character from one of his comic books. A lot of people thought this was one of the insurrectionists. When I first saw it come out, maybe there are other people on this cover that are supposed to be from the community. I don't recognize anybody. Again, people say that's Bolo. Yeah, and then yes, so a couple points I want to cover. First, I'll cough so I can talk, and then I'll drink some water so I can talk. Yeah, I would have done better. That's pretty funny. So Captain America has swastikas in fictional stories for decades, and that's 100% true. So Kamikaze is saying Davis Ryder. So who's Davis Ryder in this image? I don't know what Davis Ryder looks like. I really don't follow a lot of the same people that a lot of people do. So I'm familiar with that name. I actually think he got mentioned in one of the videos I played. I think Nick was saying his name. Hey, have a good night, Comic Bookworm. Thanks for coming in here. Jeez. I can't wait to be over this. Is that shirtless bear fighter? I didn't think he actually wore a bear skin. I don't know. Lots of, in fact, there's actually people that collect those comic books specifically. Like that's a sub collection, right? Like there's people that collect covers with rain on it. There's people that collect covers with people getting married on them. There's people that collect covers that have historical, World War II connotations, Nazi imagery. That's one of the things. I don't necessarily judge somebody for collecting that. And I also don't necessarily judge somebody. I think it's worth pointing out this creator created this character as a villain. I'm assuming that has some personal meaning to him. That's a pretty intense take to, he's either that or shock value, I guess. And I think they should be allowed to show him off. But that's not the point. That's really not the point. We talk about context matters. Context definitely matters. What gets brought up after all this is what matters the most to me. And I am going to show one of Decor's posts because it's the only screenshot I can find of it. So Decor, I'm sharing one of your posts here, sir. Hope you're okay with that. You had it posted on social media, so I assume you are. And you didn't take it down. So this is responses from Gem Collectibles after that cover was replaced, because within probably like 2 hours or so, I think, the night that cover came out, it was replaced with that X version that I was showing, right? And the swastikas were gone, and it was the X's over the eyes version. I know Javon Jordan, made a comment like he didn't want to offend anybody. He didn't want the drama. So this is the notations here are Decor's. This person asks, why did that one guy have swastika eyes in the other pic? And then Jim, it says, a couple people on the internet started crying, the usual. Hulk is Hulk. What happened to the racist symbols? Too many internet crybabies. So I leave it to you guys to judge how you want to view those comments. But, that's the reaction it had. And these comments are gone now because the post has been deleted. And the comments have been deleted, at least. I went to go back and look. I couldn't find them anyway. Maybe they're still up there. I couldn't find them. So to me, what have I said a million times on these streams and these shows? It's not the mistakes you make. It's how you handle them. And you could argue that the cover wasn't a mistake. You could say, like, that's a creative choice. They could stand by it. You could also argue that I need a cough drop. You could also argue that the cover where you're putting your friends or your like WhatNot pals or whatever on the cover, maybe not the time to bust out swastika eye dude. Because they're going to be pictured inches away from one of your friends. Just saying. Like, I really would be curious what Jack DeMaio, aka Mr. Bolo, who literally is like an inch away on that cover from swastika eye dude, wonder what his reaction was, for one thing. So the other thing is, when you release this cover and then it gets pulled, I don't know to what level Jim was ever involved with it. He was proud of it. Like the original post he put up was, hey, this is awesome. I'm on this cover. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was very happy. Like, he thought it was cool. And then the cover gets changed, and it gets changed because of crybabies, the usual, as Jement says. And I have not really talked about this, not much anyway, but this is the person who put out an explanation video for what happened at C2E2 and removed the video. And when he removed that video, the follow-up post he made said, it took him a while to remove the video. He defended the hell out of that video for a while. In a way, props to him, I guess, for that, for standing by what he said. But then he took it down. And his comment, I'm paraphrasing, was something to the effect of, I'm still learning. And I think something like, I'll try to handle things differently in the future. I believe roughly what he said. That's the impression I got from it anyway. That's how it impacted me. So this is how you follow it up. Just like we talked about with other WhatNot sellers and the drama that happened with them, with Nick GQ, with Epic Nation. When the patterns repeat, you really have to wonder what's going on there. And I think take it to heart, take it with a grain of salt. Use your own eyeballs, use your own morals to kind of view these things, and then decide, what part of the comic book community you want to be part of. I'm never going to tell anybody you should support this person or you should support that person. It's not what I'm about. But I will tell you how I feel, and I'll tell you, what I see going on. And I see stuff going on that to me is not good for this comic book community. It's stuff that if I ever made those mistakes, and in my opinion they are mistakes, I would be eating a lot of humble pie. People are allowed to have questions about why there's swastikas on your cover. Whether you stand by the art or not, people are allowed to have those concerns. That's something that deeply affects a lot of people. A lot of people have a right to be affected by that. That doesn't mean that there isn't also a right to present challenging imagery. But context matters. It was wisely was said in our chat a minute ago. Yeah, I understand your point for sure, Evan. Starting to see the creams separate from the crop. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, you should. Well, I appreciate that, but leave it up to you. There's people that are going to say, because this is a more direct approach than I've taken before, and like I said, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And I wanna speak more hands-on about these things. And if there's people that will say that I'm grandstanding or I have some ulterior motive, or that's your opinion. Do what you want with that information. Support who you trust. Don't support people that you think are putting hate out into the world. If you think that's me, then don't support me. That's fine. I don't want you to, if you think that's me. Dude Jr. says, I was stationed in Germany. The swastika has been outlawed there since World War II. There's a reason for it. It's an embarrassing symbol of death and hate. I agree. It's like, it's obviously a very troubling icon for something that literally stands for genocide. And but at the same time, I do support the ability for somebody to use that in a way that is potentially useful, right? You can still tell stories and challenge expectations and those sorts of things. You can do that. Is this cover the right way to do that? Like, and again, this is a neo-Nazi character that's a villain in his story. That's where it gets kind of conflicted for me. It's like, this is his creation. But, maybe you don't put that on the cover where you're trying to like do the positive rap battle homage kind of thing, which is 90% of what that cover feels like, right? So that's, to me, it's in bad taste. So at this point, Kamikaze brings up a great point. I agree with you, but do you blame WhatNot for not stepping in? There is tons of nefarious and terrible sellers on eBay. No, yes. First of all, yes. eBay. I constantly criticize this too. When people try to throw WhatNot under the bus, just in general, it's like, well, a lot of shitty stuff is happening on eBay. A lot of shitty stuff's happening in IG claim sales. A lot of shops are doing shitty stuff to people straight up. I'm in seller groups and buyer groups and comic collecting groups. There are tons of stores out there that are ripping people off, or they're not sending them the correct stuff. I've had to step in and help some people out before because they didn't get the stuff they were promised. They were being ghosted by sellers. I've stepped in for people and had to make that connection where it's like, hey, This person's been trying to contact you. What's going on? And it shouldn't take me having to message somebody because I'm lucky enough to have had a conversation with them before, to have them do anything about it. But it's happened. Now, as far as WhatNot stepping in this case, I would seriously, if I was WhatNot, I would seriously be looking at both of these sellers. They obviously have the ability to go back and watch these streams. I'm going to cough again. Sorry, I'm going to hit. Sorry about that. So, they obviously have the ability to go back and watch this stuff. They can see what's out there on social media and they can make a determination. If they don't do anything, yes, this to me directly reflects on a WhatNot. They should act. There's no way that, telling another seller that you were going to give them black eyes, and there's no way that another seller saying, I will send you free comics if you report that. There's no way that that should fly for either seller. So we were talking about Nick GQ and we were talking about Epic Nation collections. Chris says, never liked Comic Tom personally, but I've enjoyed Jem's vids. What's the deal with them? Psychotron, I take it. The swastika talk. Yeah, I kind of think you're probably getting caught up, Chris. Yeah, and I mean, look, I have no desire to badmouth anybody out of nowhere, and so I won't do it. But if they give me a reason to, we're going to talk about it. Zach Russell is the biggest scammer out there. So I've heard that before, Sucker Punch. Is he operates mostly on Facebook? Am I correct in thinking about that person? There are names that just kind of are rolling around in my head of like, avoid these sellers kind of stuff. I believe there's a seller that I was looking at with somebody that was sending like, hey, by the way, Gamma Base Comics in the house. Welcome, Gamma Base. Guys, our super chat prize tonight is from Gamma Base. Guys, if you want to donate a super chat, it is very hard for me to show off this gorgeous Matina cover without it being all reflective of my giant light up there. Because it's kind of like this dark, cool cover. But if you want a super chat, that's what you could win tonight. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Gamma Base Comics. Go give them a follow on Facebook. Yeah, but there's a couple sellers that I've been aware of on Facebook that are scam artists. One of them has notoriously been sitting around like a giant size X-Men 1 that's like a reproduction, and selling it to people and scamming them for their money. It's just, it's terrible. It's terrible when these kind of sellers are out there operating. Like, think about it. Like, put yourself in the person's shoes that bought this comic book. Most of us collectors, some of us are pretty well off, some of us are, but most of us, it's like, this is our passion. We're doing it because we love, the comics that we're trying to buy. Sometimes people are buying to flip. That's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. But a lot of times we're buying stuff for our personal collections, right? And a lot of times people that are flipping are doing it to fund the ability to buy stuff for their personal collections. And I think that there's a lot of positive space in that kind of area to work. But people getting ripped off from their hard-earned money, these scams, definitely be really careful. I think one thing we've learned, even if you're talking about a reputable seller, if you're ever doing business with me, I am more than happy to send you a PayPal invoice. Like, if you want to do a PayPal goods and service invoice, great. If you've done a bunch of transactions with me and you want to, just send me some money and that means I'm going to get more of it or whatever, that's fine too. But if it's our first transaction, especially, I would prefer you do goods and services or something like that. Like I made some exceptions when I did the charity stuff. I asked a couple people if they're cool not doing that because more of the money would go to the charity that way. But when it comes to stuff I'm actually selling for, like, yeah, I mean, if we've done 5 transactions and I'm a stand-up guy and I'm going to ship you stuff and pack it well and all that, and you want to send money in a way that of cuts not taken, that's fine too. But I'd prefer that you're protected and I'm protected. I don't want to lose access to my PayPal account or other means. There's other accounts people use. I want to do everything above board. When you're making contact with these people, they should be willing to do that. If they say, "Oh, I just want to do friends and family only," the biggest reason why, there's 2 reasons. One of them is the tax thing, which got pushed back, which is if you sold over $600 worth of stuff, if you gained income of over $600 through PayPal or any of those types of services, then a tax form is going to be generated. And a lot of sellers were upset about that. Now, keep in mind, you should always be reporting your income from sales of collectibles, period. But that's one reason. The other reason why people wouldn't want to do that is because of the percentage that PayPal takes, which is a few percent, between 3 and 5. Off the top of my head, I think it's about 3% for goods and services. And if a seller is saying like, well, I don't want to do that, they should always be cool with you paying 3% more and doing goods and services, because there's literally no difference. That's all they're trying to save is the small amount of money, right? I mean, if you're selling a $1,000 book, 3% is a lot of money, right? But if you're that seller, like if you were asking me and I was like, yeah, sure, like I'd prefer to do this in goods and services, are you willing to pay $103 instead of $100? Because I can send you the invoice for that amount, and then there we go. Or you can send it goods and services for that amount. That should be all above board. Those are the kind of things you want to watch for. You want to, I mean, Swaggelhaus had that video where he traded books with a guy. Traded some books. He was trying to pick up one book. He traded several. We're talking like thousands of dollars worth of books changing hands. And by the way, props to Swaggelhaus for documenting how all that happened and educating people in how to avoid this stuff. Go watch his videos about that. Watch any video you talk about where people are being scammed. You need to protect yourself. And if you're dealing with good sellers, they'll never have a problem, making sure everything's above board. There's a certain amount of trust. The good news is 99% of the time it works out, because you have a lot of really good people in this community. And that's the shittiest part about this, is this small percentage of assholes and scammers and fake BS artists out there are ruining it for such a large. That's why this gets me fired up, because there's so many great people out there. There's so many people out there that would bend over backwards to help you. They understand and love what you're doing with your comic book collection because they are doing it with their comic book collection. We're the nerds that hung out in the comic book store for the last 30 years. And, we all want to see each other happy, except for that one small percentage that just ruins it for everybody. Chris Naples coming in with the $5 super chat. Let me write you down on that one, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Chris. Do some housekeeping here. 5. Okay. Yes, it was absolutely messed up what happened to Swaggelhaus. And like, you're sending off books that have real history. They really matter. And you're hoping everything's above board, and you're hoping you're going to get back what's supposed to happen. And I can't even imagine like the feeling that I've been stolen from, not like in the same kind of transaction way, but like literally stolen from, robbed, And that feeling in the pit of your stomach, like, I worked hard for this motherfucker. I put in my time, my effort, my blood, my sweat, my tears, and you're taking it from me. Thieves have a very, 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 very special spot in the depth of the black spot of my heart for what they do to people. And yeah, that's just messed up. It's messed up that happened to him. I got some. Sorry, I'm trying to read this. Nothing. I got some comics off of OfferUp. Was bad, but a little weird. Meeting people trying to sell comics they don't take of in person. Thanks for coming out, but nah. I'm having a little hard time understanding some of your message there. Nothing. I've done some OfferUp stuff, and just in general, it's a little weird meeting up with somebody, right? I'm gonna cough again. For sure. Oh, Ozzy's gonna make me break out the Canadian conversion here. Dude, I'm kidding, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But let me just figure out what that is real fast. So that is 1480. We'll give you 15 for that. Thanks, dude. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm sorry, guys, for the coughing. Like I said, I wasn't gonna do this Monday. And it is just, I'm so much better today than I was then. That would have been ridiculous if I did it Monday. I want to make sure my math adds up here before I move forward. Give me 1 second, and I will be right back to paying attention to the show. I got a new computer, which I love, but I don't have a shortcut for my calculator, which I kind of miss. I got to get a macro going on my keyboard for it. Good news is I can still do math. So I appreciate that, Kamikaze. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out and being a part of the show. And yeah, it was kind of that weird spot where like it's too late to take Dayquil, but too early to take the NyQuil. So they didn't take care of, but all over wasn't bad. Okay. They didn't take care of. I'm hoping you weren't saying you got robbed, man. They didn't take your stuff. I hope that's not what you're saying. But that is definitely sketch. But the OfferUp thing, like standard, rules apply. Always meet in a public place. Thank you very much. The thing is to not be naive. Thieves and conmen are a part of every field and hobby. They will always be amongst us. Finding those you can trust is all you can do. Yeah, it's 100% true. You're not wrong, Dude Junior. We definitely need to be vigilant at all times. The best advice is the stupid cliche, but the best advice is if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true, right? Like that's just what it comes down to. Hey Robert, how's it going? Do I have a favorite Bronze Age comic? I mean, that's a good question. Two of my grails are Bronze Age comics. I have 3 grails, and they're the most boring grails of all time because they're everybody's grails, right? X-Men #1 from the 1963, Giant Size X-Men #1, and Wolverine 181, or Hulk 181. I have a Hulk 180, and I have a Hulk 182. I just want that 181. For me, it's probably Giant Size, but I love Bronze Age comics. Like now, people get confused about my name. I'm Bronze Age nerd because I was born in the Bronze Age. I was actually born at the end of the Bronze Age. But the Bronze Age of comics to me is where everything started, because I love some Silver Age comics, Silver Age Marvel, all that's great. But the way like the change in dialogue, you move away from the Stop, you villainous fiend. I'm going to use my powers that I acquired through a radioactive experiment. You move away from that kind of dialogue, which has its place in history, to the grittier, more realistic, Spider-Man dealing with his problems, and the X-Men, and them moving from a team of misfit superheroes to a team of gritty international misfit superheroes. I love all that stuff. So, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure nothing that I was understanding you correctly. Yes, you're 100% right about that. I know, like, my parents tried to buy a Paw Patrol toy for my daughter for Christmas one year, and for months they were trying to contact this family, and it was just like messages back and forth, and they was like writing it off, and then like all of a sudden they get a message about it. It's like, do you want to meet there? Sure, where is there? Like, give us the address. Nothing. Turns out it was a language barrier. That Spanish speaking family was trying to communicate with an English speaking family, and things were getting missed in translation. But yeah, it can be extremely weird. That's just a basic example. I was born. So I myself am a Bronze Age nerd. Bronzed Age nerd probably would have been better. I don't know. Some things I regret about the name, but I wanted to have something that seemed a little bit different. Turns out there's a bunch. There's bronze and modern gods. There's there's so many different variations of that. To me, it seemed original at the time. I was wrong. 1 second. All right. It's the classic scenario of a non-collector trying to offload comics to a collector. Sometimes it's a great bargain. Sometimes it's a waste of time. Yeah, it's when to be fair, like, sometimes that's where you're going to get the best deals, right? For sure, because that if you really want to, that's where you're going to find the best deals. But it's a double-edged sword. So Stonecutter, you've been out of since the Crane Acetate Gate. So there's actually a few different dramas. The real quick recap, because we are going to move on to a couple of other topics. There actually is more drama, so stay tuned for that. You had Nick GQ and Epic Nation Collections on. They're both WhatNot sellers. Kind of feuding about some stuff over a terrible cover. There was an Epic Nation exclusive, and boy, it was a bad cover. But there was some drama that ensued, and some name calling, some violence threats that were made, and then a bunch of one side, Nick GQ was starting to beat up Epic Nation, and then Epic Nation was basically trying to get Nick GQ banned from WhatNot. I'd argue that both of them should definitely have a talking to from WhatNot, and that we should be vigilant of sellers of that ilk going forward. Hey, Dude Jr. is a Bronze Age baby as well, 1971. So we're kind of on different sides of the Bronze Age itself, but I'm always nice to meet a fellow Bronze Ager. A lot of us are in that age bracket. Good Bronze Age comics combine super heroics and pure comic book ideas with soap opera continuity and slipping in a message or two. Good Star Trek does it. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, Mark. And part of it is because in the 80s, of course, you get the dark, gritty stuff, and I love that too for what it is. I really do. I really grew up reading a lot of that stuff because I was born at the beginning of the 80s. I wasn't really reading comics. And then by the time, you're 10, 11, 12, it's hard to go back and get all of those old comics, right? Like, a lot of them went up in money, especially during the early 90s and everything. So it's definitely hard to do that. But the early Bronze Age stuff has its own kind of character. The late Bronze Age stuff is kind of the stuff I gravitate towards. And I'm especially getting more and more into the horror stuff from the Bronze Age. I think a lot of that's really great. So very good point, Mark. Yes, that is definitely how you can get some great deals for sure. Bottom tier, I'm glad you were able to pop in. Hopefully I kind of surmised the one part of the drama. The other part of the drama, I guess I didn't really talk about again, is the stuff with the Hail Crow cover, which had swastikas on the cover. the swastikas were removed by the artist and replaced with X's, and then Jim Ment went off on people that were asking what happened, basically, which is a fair point, by the way. Like, so to me, I guess I didn't really kind of circle back on that. What should have happened? In my opinion, what should have happened is don't delete your old post. Pin a comment, make a new post, edit it, say, hey, you know what? There's been pushback on this cover. The artist changed it. Here's the new cover. I don't delete shit. Like there's a video in my catalog that I've had a few people comment on and say like it's kind of in poor taste or whatever. And there's actually 2 videos that I have I have a very mixed relationship with that I made. And I've had the thought where like I could make them private so nobody could see them. I could delete them. I could unlist them. But I just left them up. And if people commented, I address it. I did it. If I did something that I thought was truly offensive, like offensive to people, I would take it down. Like, you know, I would never intentionally do that. But if I did it by mistake, and I could tell it was affecting people, I would take it down. For sure, I would do that. But then I would own up to it and say, like, look, I did this thing. I made a mistake. I'm taking it down so people don't have to continue to be offended by it. And I would own up to it. I wouldn't like pretend like it didn't happen. That seems to be a lot of what's going on. Is like, well, that never happened, but I can still talk smack about it and we can move on. What? It doesn't work that way. I have my bronze baby shoes. Is that it? You know what? It does count, Kamikaze. Swastika on a comic for shock value. People have no shame moving. So that's the thing, is I don't really know if it was shock value. I think there's a really good possibility, because again, this is the character he created. It's a villain. It's a neo-Nazi character. It's a villain in his comic book, in his own words. And I could see him just wanting to like showcase some of his own work on this cover. I think that ego plays a part in that, and you might make a cover and you might think like, oh, I really want to show off my own creations on this cover. I don't think it's the right choice. I don't think it was a good decision to make, but I could see that being the case. I can also see a world where you're right too, and it was for shock value, but I'll give a little bit of benefit of the doubt there. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Bronzage. Happy New Year. Sorry I haven't been in for a while, but I've been dealing with my husband's health and my elderly parents, and it's been nonstop. Absolutely, Sonia. No problem. I'm very sorry to hear that you're dealing with some health stuff. As you can tell, I'm dealing with some health stuff, probably more minor than what you're talking about. My thoughts are with you. I'm sending positive vibes your way. Door's always open if you want to drop a DM, and I can try to help you out however I can. And I hope your husband starts feeling better, and I hope your parents are doing better too. I've been having a lot of same stuff going on. I haven't been putting in a lot of videos. My dad's health, all that kind of stuff has been an issue recently, and it's something we've been dealing with. So I totally understand, and my sympathies are with you. Let me know if I can help. I'm always here for you. Nick may already be gone because I'm kind of catching up to chat. Got to call it a night. Let's catch up soon, buddy. Glad your kid's better. Everyone be kind of understanding of each other. Being kind takes as much energy as not. Please consider kindness. Those are wise words. I agree with that, Nick. Yeah, we'll talk soon for sure. Always love talking to you. Hope you have a wonderful night. Hope you have a happy new year. And thanks for being part of the community that spreads that kind of kindness. That's what I love to see. Thank you so much. Steve Englehart. Yeah, his influences even today. Yeah, Englehart's, yeah, good point. Very good point. Totally. And that's the thing is, good or bad news does have to be delivered, unfortunately. I wish the more positive news got more reaction. Unless I break, news about Wolverine being in Deadpool 3 or something like that. It's unfortunately the negative news is going to get more attention. It's just the world we live in. I try not to like prey on that. I actually hate doing that kind of stuff, but it has happened before. You leave stuff for technical issues, but if I deem a video finished, yeah, I can see that too. I guess I shouldn't say like never, because I didn't think about that. If there are technical issues, yeah, especially if it was like sponsored or if it was an interview or something like that, I could see me doing that too. Good point. Bronze Age books, love them too. To have the Hulk 80, 181, Giant Size X-Men, ASM 129, and others, love them all. Need a Werewolf by Night 132 for sure. Yeah, those are good books. Oh, and that's so real fast. My health over the last week and a half, I intended to do a lot of videos. Luckily, I got this new computer. I can record a little bit faster, all that kind of stuff. One of the things I'm gonna do is the follow up to my top 10 that I was buying for 2022. Spoiler alert: I did not complete my list. My top 10 that I was looking for, I did not complete it. 3 of the biggest books on that list I didn't buy. I'm gonna cough again in 1 second. I'm gonna make a list for 2023. I think that list will be interesting to watch because I'll show you some of the mistakes I learned from going from last year to this year. There were a lot of things that really didn't go the way they were supposed to for me in 2022, and that affected my list a lot. I'm also going to try to do some like best of 2022s. Unfortunately, YouTube's changing some stuff. It might actually be harder for me to make like the best booty covers of 2022, and that video got messed with like 3 times last year. So if it's even harder this year, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Oh, also, you might not have caught this, but channel members, if you're one of my channel members, which there's a join button down there, I'm going to do a stream at the end of the month where I've never seen the Joel Schumacher Batman movie, Batman and Robin. I've never seen it before. I'm going to watch that. Like, I'll basically, I think I can play it through my Discord. I can't play it on YouTube, but it'll be a private video stream. You can watch along. I'll be in chat. You'll be able to see me on video and stuff as I react to it. And then like I'll tell you when I'm starting the movie. So if you want to watch on your own device or whatever, you can start up the movie and kind of sync along with me. And then that way we can watch Batman and Robin together if you want to torture yourself, because I've heard it's not great. But I've never seen it, and I'm going to do that every month. I'm going to try to take like, superhero movies that I've never watched. I haven't seen Morbius yet. There's actually quite a few. The Corman Marvel movies, that kind of stuff. There's quite a few that I could probably put out there. But that's going to happen at the end of the month. If you want to become a channel member, that's a good way to do it. I'm also going to do drawings for channel member giveaways here pretty soon. For the last couple months, so I'm kind of behind on that. Thank you. Yeah, Sonia, absolutely. Health comes first, family comes first. I'm a big believer in that. This is comic books. This is 3 or 4 levels below how important that stuff is, if not more, more levels below that. And so hopefully everything starts going better for you. Hope it's a better new year for you. Yes, exactly. It takes time. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to move on from 2022. Glad to see you leave 2022. 2023, so far off to a kind of a rocky start, but it's still early. We'll all watch it. Bottom tier clicker, you can watch along as I see it for the first time. Yeah, I saw the original Batman Returns, and Batman Forever in the theater as a child, not as a grown man. That would be, I don't have time travel. I'm not promiscuous time traveler. But yeah, I saw all those in the theater. Batman and Robin, it was like one of those weird things where first of all, I was at an age where I wanted to go see it because of Alicia Silverstone. Like, come on, man. I was at the right age for that. I'm not saying like she was, but in the trailers, like you're just like, oh, that's Alicia Silverstone. She's pretty hot. So I wanted to go see it because of that. But for whatever reason, I just never did. It just never worked out. And then like I heard it was bad, and then like everyone was just talking about how terrible it was. So it's like, well, why watch it? Just one of those ones that just kind of slipped through. Yeah, I know about that. I mean, I know like I've seen like clips, obviously, like not very long clips, but I've seen like Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes and shit. Right on. Yeah, I've never done that before. I'll do a trial run too. Cool. That'll be awesome. So yeah, another thing is you can join my Discord. Let me throw in a link for that. I'm gonna check a group chat I'm in real fast. Make sure there is. Okay. Cool. So I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any new information there. Here, let's throw in the link for my Discord if anybody wants to join. I'll do stuff like that periodically. I'm also probably gonna start streaming Marvel Snap and maybe a little Fortnite now that I have a computer that can handle that stuff. So that is the link to join my Discord if you want to go check it out. It's in chat there. That's funny. Batman Forever is a weird one too. It's the other Schumacher Batman movie, obviously. There's things I appreciate that. So is that them standing like back to back, or is it just the Bat logo? Bad movies are awesome. Bad movies sometimes are better than good movies. Something that I will wholeheartedly agree with. You read tons of Taco Bell, so that's so funny. So I have an Xbox Series X. It's kind of right there. It's really dark. It's hard to see. And I won that from Taco Bell, which is really weird for me because I, at the time, was not eating very much Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell, but I wasn't eating very much of it then. But I also used to work for Microsoft Game Studios. And it was right before, Xbox One Series X was coming out. I used to be a game tester, worked for Microsoft, and I really was excited about the new console, but I was like, I can't justify that. And you can ask my wife, I have terrible luck winning things or any of that kind of stuff. And right around then, I won like 3 things in a row. It's like I saved up my entire karma from my entire life of not winning things, and they all paid off within like a couple months. It was so funny. So it's funny you say that about the Taco Bell thing, but yeah, for sure. So yeah, we've kind of rehashed a few times. Basically, Nick GQ and Epic Nation got into a really ugly kind of dispute over an argument over an exclusive cover. I know they have some other stuff that they've argued about in the past, like a booth at New York City Comic Con. And Nick GQ threatened to beat up Epic Nation, and Epic Nation tried to get Nick GQ reported and banned. Really kind of some terrible, ugly stuff. Well, back to release the director's cut of Batman Forever that had made some more serious and darker material put back in. Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fan of bad movies. I'm trying to think like some of my favorites, like off the top of my head, but like I really like the movies that aren't really like bad, but they're still pretty bad, like cheesy. I like to, Mystery Science Theater 3000 movies. So there'll be some of that going on. So anyways, if you want to see me watch Batman Forever, or Batman and Robin, I should say, make sure you do that and become a member. Hey, what's up, Pete? How's it going? Happy New Year, Pete. Happy New Year. How's it going, Viking? We did say hi. Yeah, have a good night, Sonia. Sharktopus. Oh my god. Okay, so we do have other stuff to talk about. We talked about the Hail Crow thing. Like, honestly, my opinion on it, I can see it from both sides. It's how you handle things, right? You should handle things better, more correctly. Calling people crybabies for asking questions. I mean, I agree with Decor on that post. Like I criticized Decor a little bit earlier in the stream. I agree with him on that. Like you should be very careful in how you're handling something that swastika imagery is not something to be taken lightly. Like we've talked about on the stream, there's a time and a place where it has a historical relevance and significance that needs to be talked about. And I support somebody's First Amendment right, to use imagery that might be evocative to make a point, but I'm also going to judge you based on what you've used that for. And again, credit to Javon Jordan for correcting that cover and coming out with a corrected version of it. But when somebody, like Jim Mint goes off and calls people crybabies for asking questions about it, that is just a weird reaction to me, and it's something that, you know, again, especially with his history of how he reacted to the C2E2 incident and the way he took down the video, and we saw this different tone from him. I was excited to see a different angle, and seeing this just kind of lets me down a little bit. And I'm gonna talk about it. Like, I'm not gonna pull my punches on this kind of stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I know I've heard a little bit of what's going on another stream. Thanks for coming in, Swaggle House. By the way, your ears are probably burning. We were just talking about you earlier. Nick Brucci was in here. We were talking about what happened to you and talking about how to prevent scams. We're talking, you know, reputable sellers and sellers you can trust is something that's on our minds right now. And so your name did come up, and just wanted to reiterate massive props to you for how you documented and shared everything that was going on with that situation. And I'm glad you're able to get some kind of resolution from that. But it was a great lesson for people. So thank you for sharing that. Wait, what? I think I missed that one. Say, honey? Swaglass, you're in here. You're a movie guy, right? What's a great bad movie to watch? Like a dumb bad movie that's fun to watch. So let's see, other topics we were going to talk about. Yeah, 100%. Good cautionary tale. Oh, so bad idea. Bad idea. Let's talk about bad idea real fast. Let me see if I can find the link to what was sent to me for their job posting thing. This is bizarre. I have a screenshot, but I think the link is worth more here. Okay, here we go. I got it. Okay. Remove the old screen share, and let's share this real fast. So bad ideas hiring, y'all. So this is so weird. Can I bust out? Yeah, let's bust out that tab so I can still see chat. There we go. So bad idea has an opportunity. Bad idea is offering 5 fans the opportunity of a lifetime. Fulfill your dreams by working in comics as an official Bad Idea employee. The first 5 people who respond to this email with the below information will be able to purchase a job at Bad Idea for $1,000. This is so bad. Now this comes with perks. If you receive quote unquote gainful employment at Bad Idea, we will provide an official job title. Pick your own from a selection we provide. Your name and title in the masthead of Bad Idea Comics. Qualifying credit for professional badges at San Diego Comic-Con and more. Your own Bad Idea business cards. You know, the thick paper kind. Actual work, but the easy kind. 1 year employment guaranteed. Put it on your resume. However, it does not mention anything about compensation. The compensation so far is negative $1,000. A recommendation letter. Leave armed with a vague but positive letter, just like the real thing. This offer ends this morning or as soon as we sober up. And this was on New Year's. Now, I actually know somebody who responded to this, but they didn't see the $1,000 part. So I know somebody who got a response to this, which is pretty crazy. I have a screenshot of it. Let me see if it has more information. No, that was this part of the screenshot. Okay. So I didn't really get like full permission from that person to share their circumstances. So I'm not going to. Other than I know somebody, they did respond to somebody. Look, bad idea. Look, here's my thing with bad idea. I went from clever marketing idea to what the fuck are you doing to when they came out with the invisible comics, the invisible slabs. That's where I lost it. That's where I lost it. Getting CGC involved. It was just friggin' terrible. It was. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if anybody said I could share this. I want to see if they're. Yeah, they did. Okay, they didn't say I could share what they said. But I mean, there really wasn't much to it. Where it ended up is, I don't think they wanted to pay $1,000 to work at Bad Idea. So there's some problems with this beyond just comic books, beyond just Bad Idea, beyond everything. The idea of just paying for work experience. It's just questionable at best. Like who are you trying to impress with this job? If it's something in the comic industry, they know this existed most likely. An official job title. Pick your own from a list they provide. Your name and title in the masthead of Bad Idea Comics. First of all, Bad Idea, are they going to be around in a year? That's, and I hate to say that in the context of we've had several comic companies fold recently. Which I haven't even gotten to yet. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get to that in the show tonight. Oh, geez. 1 year employment guaranteed. Actual work, but the easy kind. Proof and due notes on a section of an actual upcoming comic. It's just so weird and gross. I'm not a fan of this. I'm just not a fan of this. That's what it comes down to. And people talk about Dinesh's money, and I mean, maybe he'll keep it going, but like some of the ideas, it's like they'd almost be funny or cool, but this stuff just gets me angry. Like, I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think about it. If I thought I was actually going to help create books and I had $1,000 to blow up, yeah. If you could get involved, like they say, proof and due notes on a section of an actual upcoming comic book. I don't know, but like, yeah, like if you really could get your foot in the door, right? Like if you could write part of it, or anything really. Other that doesn't sound very substantial. Like you're really doing a lot of work there. Copy and text over for lettering or something. That'd be kind of fun. It's the joke that writes itself, right? It does sound like a bad idea. It's just, I don't get it with them. I just don't get it. Other than it's all PR. Like that's the thing. But like, even if they got 5 people to do this, $5,000, it's not that much. This is such a weird thing to me. By the way, I'm kind of getting caught up with chat here. No, I have not seen. I need to. I've been around my daughter most of the last couple of days, and I just haven't. I can't remember if that dropped yesterday or today, but I'm not going to watch that in front of a 4-year-old. And I was doing the stream tonight, but I want to watch the trailer. And Violent Night was friggin' awesome. I prefer if Bad Idea was just this niche, interesting comic company that gave opportunities to creators, but clearly it's a kind of Dinesh's Playground art piece too. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's, I don't know. It's such an interesting thing. Like, and I remember too. Oh my God, ENIAC. When it first came out, it was receiving some. Maybe this isn't the most original idea in the world, but it's new. It's cool. Great. I'm all for new original comic books. We need more of that. But and some of the viral marketing stuff, it's fine. It's fine. Like I think I made a video. I did make a video about this. The original Bad Idea pitch. My only problem was, let me order from you online with the same commitment to buy all the issues or whatever. Pre-buy them all and they get sent to me or whatever. Because here's the deal. I still don't. I don't have an LCS. The closest stores to me that offered that would have been like a 2-hour drive one way to go get I'm sorry. One of them would have been a 2-hour drive round trip. The other one would have been a 2-hour drive one way to go get the comic book. I can't do that, especially not for 4 or 5 issues of a series. I might be willing to certain books that sound cool. I might be willing to do that, but send it to my house, man. Not everybody's near these comic book shops. Like they tried to like pitch that as like, we're trying to support comic book shops. No, you're not. No, you're not. And man, the invisible comic book that CGC graded, which were sheets of acetate, because of course they fucking were. I saw one of those in person at a comic shop, and that I thought it was dumb. When I saw it in real life, that's when my blood boiled. It's just so fucking stupid. I agree. I think we're gonna start to see it soon. I wonder if James Gunn killed the Green Lantern show. I don't think I've seen anything about that yet. I know at one point, so I heard at one point that was supposed to be focused on a couple, like, I think I heard Kyle Rayner, I heard Jessica Cruz, and is it Baz? Is that how you actually pronounce his name? I know B-A-Z, Simon Baz. I heard they were going to be more involved, and then I heard it's going to be more Jon Stewart now. I really don't know. Dude, I'm down for it. Like, Marvel mail away subscriptions, when I was growing up. Now, look, I want people to support their good local comic book shops out there. I just don't have one. Yeah, and I don't want to, like, again, I want all original news stories in comic books. This is the same reason why I have a hard time shitting on exclusives, because I know it supports a lot of artists in the community that need money and support to continue doing great art. So it's hard for me to just completely shit all over exclusives. But it's like anything, right? You have to do it in moderation. You have to do it correctly. There can't be. It's unsustainable to have 50 covers for a book and still have collectors have interest in any of those covers. Like, you're actually in the long run doing more harm than good there. These PR type initiatives and stunts that Bad Idea is doing, it's not necessarily all bad. Like, some of these are kind of funny or cool ideas, but you have to moderate that. Yeah, shipping is crazy for sure. Yeah, Variant. It's a really big deal, and I think it's something that, like, I forget at times. I know that other people in the community forget at times, but we can also we can also do it correctly to the point where like it preys on certain collectors. Certain collectors want to buy every copy of a book. Like, when ASM relaunches and there's covers A through J, they want to buy A through J and the exclusives. They're big Ivan Tao fans, or they're big. I'm not trying to pick on just one artist, but artists, Gleason, cover people that do exclusives for pretty much, every store, like Crane used to do, or there's these in-store artists that will always have a cover for every issue that's coming out that has variants. My inbox is fucking flooded with them, and I get tired of seeing it. I get real tired of seeing it. And it still works, because 1 out of every 50 times I go, fuck, that's a cool cover. And I want to support the artist, right? Like, I bought the Warren Liu Power Girls. I love Power Girl 27. It's one of my favorite covers. I'm lucky enough that I have it from when I originally read that run, and I got it graded as part of my first submission. I got a 9.8 on it. I'm super happy about that. I love that fucking book. And I kind of I wanted to, kind of relive that experience and support that artist. And also same with the Harley Quinn covers he did that were, they're called an homage, but I really don't see them as an homage. Anyways, I still do it. But it's, yeah. And cover A is generally what I collect for the most part too, by the way. Like, that's usually the cover I go for. Even if I like cover B or C more, I tend to default to cover A, because for one thing, like a lot of comics, like I might buy them, I'll read them, especially a lot of Marvel books. I'm using the thing where you scan you take a picture of the cover, you send them the email, you fill out a form, they send you an email with the code to redeem it on, like, Marvel Unlimited or whatever, or on Comixology. And that's how I'm reading a lot of comic books, especially with the Marvel books, especially. So if that's how I'm reading the book and enjoying it, I don't mind like holding on to the cover A for investment purposes or whatever, because it's happened to me a million times comic collecting. It's like, yeah, sure, this book's awesome, I've read it a few times, but I don't have to have it. Like, I look at my giant collection of comic books, and I'm like, I really would prefer to get this pared down. And I've done that a few times, and sell stuff. It's a big part of why I sell things. And when I go to sell that cool variant that's B or C cover often doesn't do as well on the resale market as cover A. So I'm trying to remember, because I have my Marvel account and Comixology linked. I read them on Comixology. I'm getting a little mixed up because I've had a subscription to Marvel Unlimited because Xbox had a deal. So I've actually, for the first time in the last few months, I've more been reading Marvel Unlimited, and it's kind of confusing because everything I'm reading is on Marvel Unlimited. And I'm trying to remember if those books show up. If I had my tablet, I could check. I have my tablet upstairs. It either shows up on Comixology or Marvel Unlimited. I'm kind of crossing my wires on which one it shows up on Mac. But yeah, it's cool because you used to have to peel the code, right? They don't have those anymore. You take a photo of the cover. So, I mean, you could probably find those anywhere. I'm just saying. But anyways, I do it for the books I buy. You fill out a form. It's like a drop down. It's like, I have this book, upload my cover picture, and then they email you a code and you redeem it. And you redeem it through Marvel. So there's the Marvel app, the Marvel Unlimited app, and the Comixology app. I know for sure it shows up in the Marvel app. And since I have Comixology linked, I can see them both there. I don't know if it shows up in the Marvel Unlimited app. I got there in the end. Variant minutes, for example. Yeah, I mean, sure, sometimes. But that's the exception that proves the rule, right? K-pop's surfing the black seas there, has the black sails going. Fell off of any hype spec books in 2019 and read collect only what I like. It made more room for larger. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I prefer to read digitally for a lot of reasons. Vision is most of them. Handling comics around my kid. So I prefer to read digitally. And so when I collect, it's generally just for like I like the cover. I want a spec on the book, or it's for my personal collection. And the cover buys, it's kind of 50-50. Like I hold on to it for a while, and either I have to have it forever, or I send it off to a new home. Yeah. Yeah, and I've been catching up on all the last year of Marvel stuff on Marvel Unlimited recently. So, not yet. It's coming up. We're going to talk about Frankie's. There's also there's the one that just today I saw that it was going under. I think it's a New York shop. Frick. Oh boy, there's another thing too. As I was just scrolling through, there's so much news, guys. Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner had the accident with the snowplow. I mean, there's nothing really to say about it at this point, I guess, other than just I hope he makes a recovery. It was great to see a photo of him out there. Like that was really awesome. But geez, I mean, because so the crazy thing for me is if you're a football fan, not to get too much onto football, but a really crazy thing happened on Monday Night Football that was really hard to watch. I think most of the country that watches football is pretty captivated by it, right? A player had a cardiac episode of so far kind of unknown origins on the field. It was bad. Like, we didn't know if we just watched somebody die. We didn't know if this person was going to be okay. We didn't know what caused it exactly. There's a lot to it. And that was rough. And it kind of, I don't know about, I think it's true for a lot of people. It kind of messed me up more than I expected to be messed up by something. Like I've seen some horrific football injuries. They're not good to see. You hate to see it. But for whatever reason, they didn't hit me as much as this. And I think that's true for a lot of people. And then I saw the Jeremy Renner news and I was just like, dude, it's just like, like the bad things comes in threes kind of a thing, right? Like there's just so much stuff going on, and depends on your the way you look at things. But like, Barbara Walters just passed away. All these kind of negative things kind of just piled up. And I just noticed that kind of tends to happen around the holiday season too. It's really weird. Yeah. A similar thing happened to hockey players, a few soccer players too. I'm trying to fight coughing so hard right now. I'm not going to win that fight. Oh, Black Widow, yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude, Comixology, I did a video on that too. It's pretty terrible. Yeah, no, yeah. Fantasy implications are pretty rough. I'm in a league with some people that sell comic books. I'm currently winning because of the points from that game. I mean, like I had Josh Allen and I had Stephon Diggs, so I was probably going to win, but it's a weird deal. I know, but I feel bad. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, UFC thing. So yeah, I don't want to get too far off topic with sports, but it's just been a weird time. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. But good point, Psychotron, for sure. By the way, Psychotron, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Everybody wish Psychotron a happy birthday. He deserves it. Sounded like he had a pretty good night. Unfortunately, I was kind of getting ready for the show, so I didn't really get to read everything you wrote, but hope you had a good night. Hope it took your mind off things, and happy birthday, man. So yeah, so I don't have a whole lot of time left, but a whole lot of voice left either. There are several businesses that went under. I wish I could remember the name of the comic shop that went under just now. Like today, they announced they're closing. It's a long-standing shop. I want to say it's in Yonkers. I could totally be wrong about that. But they're going under, and that's just it's a long-standing comic shop. I know somebody recently shared with me another really old comic shop, an OG comic shop that's closing down, or going to have to close down. And then Frankie's closed down, and that one especially gets dramatic and controversial and rough, mostly because of rest in peace Ken Block. I don't know who that is. Unfortunately, the name does not ring a bell, but yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay, yeah. So it is in New York. So my instincts are correct. I just can't remember the name of it. But yeah, when it comes to the Frankie's closing, customers are worried about getting their orders. I haven't heard from anybody who has talked about. I'm sorry, I've got to pull this up here because I'm not familiar with that name, and I want to be respectful to people in chat that are talking about this. A rally car driver. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's terrible. And there's a snowmobile accident. Okay. Well, I'll definitely check that out. Definitely check that out later. But yeah, rest in peace. There's just a lot. There's a lot going on, and that really kind of leads me to where I wanted to go a lot with the show tonight. Okay, my power just flickered here, so there's a chance I could lose power again. No, it's not Midtown. It's not Midtown. Definitely not Midtown. Hopefully, I don't lose power here. But what I was going to say is this stuff, all the negativity going on. Just remember that to look out for your mental health. Remember that you need to take a moment. And when we're absorbing this kind of negative stuff constantly, it can affect you and it can creep up on you big time. Whether you're following a seller who's being childish or dramatic or whatever it is, right? Or somebody you were a fan of dies, or like me watching that stuff that happened on Monday Night Football and a lot of other stuff that's going on. I actually had to kind of just quit trying to find out what's going on and is he okay and all that stuff, and go find something positive. And I did that because I read a comment online where somebody's like, hey, you know what? There's going to be no more updates for this. Turn this off and go do something positive. And that's so true. Whatever your happy place is, for some people it's watching reruns of The Office. Okay, it looks like my stream froze here. Oh, did my stream freeze? It looks like my camera froze in a really unfortunate way, at least. Okay, so you guys can still hear me. Okay. Let's see what I can do about the camera. Okay, I'm still working on it. This is pretty. Yeah, it's a pretty fan. It's not great. Not great from my perspective. Well, what is going on there? That is weird. Okay, let me see if I can camera. Are we back? Hi. So fucking stupid. What happened? Okay, cool. You guys can see and hear me. That's weird. I don't know. It's always something on my streams, guys. And now power will probably get cut out. Hey, have a good night, dude Junior. Actually, you know what? That's what we should do. Let's do some giveaways. Let's do some giveaways, guys, before everything goes to hell here. In a handbasket. Hit things. Yeah, hit them. What are we hitting? Yeah, I can relate to different philosophies like that too. Like I tend to roll with punches pretty well, but it's weird. Every once in a while something just hits you like out of the blue, like you're saying there. Like you don't expect it to, but it does. And then I want to do a random list generator. Random.org is pretty good for that. So Super Chat prize, you got a couple more minutes to get in. Let me show that off again. You got this foil Death of Superman 30th anniversary Matina. That's the 1 in 25. Comes to us from our good friends at Gamma Base. Yeah, okay, don't hit things. Good point. And then I got to build a couple prize packages here for my channel members. What would be fun? What would be fun? Oh, that'd be cool. And then let's see, one more signed book. What do I got? All right, so all right. So here's what we got. Channel members for the month of November are going to get a prize package. And that is going to consist of, by the way, Kilted Corgi, if you're watching, your package is going to go out at the same time. Batman, Catwoman #1, Jim Lee. Ivan Toe, Robin Hood, Negative Space. And signed by Ron Mars. Green Lantern, that's Green Lantern 83. And that's signed by Ron Mars there. So that's November prize package. Let me pull up the November list here. We'll do the giveaway for that. We'll do the giveaway for December, and then we'll do the super chat giveaway before I get unfortunately disconnected. So it feels like it's going to happen. For November. So here is our channel member list. Same thing as always. I don't have the prizes pulled, but if you are a Bronze Age Hero, which is the $10 a month member, I will send you something special and extra. I don't have that special item pulled aside, but I'll include something, a bonus in there for you. Let's present that. Share screen. Chrome tab. Okay, so this is the channel members from November. X11 Bravo, Comic Journey, Tex, Gamma Base Comics, Starset, DC Irish, Preston, Buddy, Chester, Collector P, Jack B, Tomb, Cody, Johnny Boys Comics, Shigeyuki Kakita, Matt268, Valverde, and Shadow Rat. So I pulled that list from November. I'm going to randomize it 3 times, and that'll be our winner for November. So there's 1 time. We'll do it again. And good luck to the November winner. That is going to be X11 Bravo. X11 Bravo is our winner. That is awesome. I love sending X11 Bravo stuff. That's cool. I have some extra stuff that'll be very fun to send to X11 Bravo that they can use in their project. X11 Bravo does fantastic work for veterans as part of the Project Slab a Vet initiative. They also were supporters for my Heroes for Heroes campaign, where we helped raise almost $2,000 for Mission 22. So that is fantastic. I appreciate all their support. And let's get the drawing done for December. This one's going to be mostly the same. I'll go back. Weird that I couldn't do that again. Oh, well, we'll set up a new one. Not a big deal. There we go. All right, so this is the ones for December. Again, it's mostly the same list. Let's thank those people again. X11 Bravo, Comic Journey, Tex, Gamma Base, Starset, DC Irish, Preston, Buddy, Chester, Collector P, Jack B, Tomb, Cody, Johnny Boys Comics, Shigeyuki Kakita, Matt268, Malverde, Shadowrat, and Kilted Corgi making his comeback for the channel membership award. Let's see if that gives them luck this time around. We're going to randomize this 3 times. We're going to go again. And good luck to the December winner, which is Comic Journey, CJ in the house. Wow, CJ is also a $10 a month member. So that is awesome. I'll send CJ a cool prize package as well. Comic Journey, you're not watching tonight, but I hope you're having a fantastic evening. And thank you for your support. I appreciate that. All right. Good work on all that. So you've got 1 minute to get in on the super chat. If you want to do a super chat for the 1 in 25 Matina foil from Gamma Base, I'm going to try to get, I have a prize package, not prize package, a care package to send out to Sycotron. Yeah, it's a good, the towel cover is good. I've got Kilted Corgi has a package. Both these folks have packages I need to get out. Guys, I'm going to do my best to get all that stuff out by Monday. Okay. Bear with me. Health, other stuff, moving pieces, got a lot going on. But I'm going to give it about a minute and then I'll do the drawing for the super chat prize. Thanks to everybody that was awesome enough to donate for the super chats. Real fast, I just want to take a second to explain where some of this stuff goes. Like, what does this do? The channel membership thing, it's kind of what I give away versus like how much I make from it, it kind of barely breaks even. But what I try to use the channel memberships for are my StreamYard, which is where I'm at right now, streaming this from. It's called StreamYard. It's a website. It's a paid membership every month. I pay for that. I pay for my cover price. I pay for CLZ. I pay for Go Collect. And luckily a couple services help me out. And that's how I do my price look backs. Those kind of subscriptions to get access to that information, I pay for those. And I use the money that you guys use for their memberships to pay for that stuff. Plus I try to buy stuff just to send out as prizes. So that's another thing I do. When it comes to the super chats, where that stuff goes into are being able to, like, I was able to upgrade my computer, which is, except for that weird hiccup earlier, that was really strange, has been able to improve my ability to stream. I'm a little out of it on the streaming thing. I'm working on it, guys. I'm trying to get better at it. It's not so much a technology issue now. It's like, okay, now I'm doing these things differently. Hopefully the video game streaming, like I'm gonna start streaming Marvel Snap and I'm gonna start streaming Fortnite. Hopefully that'll help a little bit too. So you can watch for that on here. But that stuff really helps with that. And then lastly, like if anything's left over from that stuff, it helps me pay for my comic books. Actually, speaking of which, Headless Hammerhead hopped in here. Hey, Headless Hammerhead. Headless Hammerhead runs Dangerous Waters comics and more. Go check them out. Fantastic website for comic books. Psychotron also works over there as well, and they're great people. Again, big theme of this stream is support people in the comic book community that are ethical. And so, why am I saying, hey, go check these guys out? Because I think they're ethical and love supporting them. So definitely go check them out. Oh, hey, Mac Sin City is in for $2 super chat. Thank you, Mac. Appreciate that. So that would be one Mac Sin City. Cool. Got you in there, Mac. So yeah, we'll go about another 30 seconds and I'll draw the drawing here. Have it all set up. I should actually do that. And if it wasn't for being sick and voice giving out, I'd probably ramble on about some of the other stuff a little bit more. But yeah, big theme for me this year. One of the things I'm gonna try to change, and something that people criticized it or they called it out or whatever, not being willing to tackle things in a more hands-on fashion. I'm going to do that more this year. If I see some shit, I'm going to say some shit. If you're going to fuck around, you're going to find out. However you want to put it. With truth, with logic, not with pitchforks and violence and all that kind of stupid shit. But, and at the same time, equal time. If any of those people want to come on and talk about that stuff, please do. I'm more than happy to do that. Hey, Headless Hammerhead coming for $5. I appreciate that, man. Give it away if I win. Okay, Headless, we'll do. Thank you for that. Okay, so I think we got probably the last few ones in there. So that takes us up to there. I appreciate it, Headless. And Mac got in there. I'm just going to go through and make sure I didn't miss anybody that might have done one. Okay, looks like we're good. And if you're watching and you're trying to make sure that you got in, I got Thomas, K-Pop, Dude Jr., Comic Book Worm, Demolition Worm, Chris Naples, Kamikaze, Max Sin City, and Headless in here. Nick Barucci did not want to be included in this, so yes, he did a super chat, but available to come and speak regarding everything. I'm surprised I haven't been reached out to yet. Hey, what do you want to come on and talk about, Morpheus? I mean, when I do live shows, like I did my Christmas Eve stream, I opened it up to everybody. I don't always do that, but like during the stream. But I'm doing that more often. So, but I just, hey, let me know what you want to talk about. There, and if you are by any chance watching and you're a creator, running a Kickstarter, comic related business, anything like that, I'm always willing to talk to you about that kind of stuff because I believe in supporting that. So always make sure you bring that stuff up if you have something you're trying to promote. If you're trying to promote like a charitable cause or anything, really just hit me up. Hit me up. Oh, for sure. For 100%. 100%. Edmund Burke quote, "The only thing necessary for evil to triumph in the world is that good men do nothing." And that's a lot of what I'm trying to take to heart for this year and try to, in my way, in my respectful sort of way, just like you said, call out the crap. Oh, hey, we got, I'm very glad I waited. We got Razor Rod in here for a $2 super chat. Let me get you in there, buddy. $2. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna run this now. I'm gonna make sure you're in. Okay. So if anybody else happens to get one in after this, I'll add you to my next super chat thing if you want to. Okay. All right. So I'm going to generate 3 times on this one as well. 1, 2, 3. And the winner is 45. Ooh. And winner 45. We got Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Maybe that's all I need. See if I can get my glare off of that. That is tough to do. Okay. It is Comic Bookworm. Comic Bookworm. I hope that shows up a lot for you to see it. It's Comic Bookworm. I'm not going to lie about it. But Comic Bookworm is our winner. I think he had to sign off for the evening. I think I still have his address if it hasn't changed because I sent him an AOK once. But I will definitely reach out to him and I know how to get a hold of him. So congratulations to Naman. He is another great channel to go follow out there, by the way. Let me paste a link real fast to his channel because he deserves it. Not a lot of people watch him, and he's another positive dude who just like talks about comic books on the internet, right? So let's get him a link here. Go follow him, guys and gals. That's my recommendation there. You know me, I don't really ask you to like and subscribe or thumbs up or any of that shit over here, but for good people like that, yeah. And he does have a great series with Otaku Tour Guide. Good point. Some of the stuff I was watching them do is they did some interviews with Asian creators in the comic book community. Like I know they talked to like David Nakayama, for example. Really cool stuff. So definitely go check him out. Good channel, good dude. Yeah, go give him a follow. Okay, so I'm losing my voice. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, take some cold medicine. Thanks again for being a part of the show, everybody. Look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, any of the mental health stuff we talked about earlier, reach out to me, follow my Discord, reach out to me on Instagram, email me, whatever you want to do. And definitely we'll talk to y'all later. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. And hopefully everybody has a great 2023. Later.